Welcome to the Profits in Pajamas podcast. I'm Danielle D, or Coach Danni D, and I help women to create luxury brands by creating processes and tightening their branding. This is where we talk about how to build your business in a way that allows you to work with ease and enjoy your life. My happy space is spending as much time as humanly possible in my pajamas. And I want to help others to find their happy space while still running profitable businesses. So get comfortable and let's dig in. Hello and welcome to the Profits in Pajamas podcast. I am your host, Coach Danni D, and I am here to help women business owners to learn how to work with ease. So, Profits in Pajamas is all about getting that lifestyle where you are working with ease and you are really able to navigate your life and everything that's going on with you without the stress, the anxiety, all of that. So, just because you're a business owner does not mean that you have to live this, hectic, constantly grinding life. So if you are an active follower of the podcast, listener to the podcast, I normally do the podcast on a Wednesday. That's usually when new episodes come out. But today, this episode is coming out on a Thursday. And I'm going to take this as an opportunity to, because there's a reason. I'm going to take this as an opportunity to kind of touch on that. So today's topic is going to be give me a minute. And if are on my personal page earlier this week, I saw a meme about, your support system and that support system being there to pour into you in times when you need that. And it reminded me of this instance. When I was working and one of my coworkers who now is, a sister to me, um, she, well, let me backtrack a little bit so I can tell the story. So I'm, coming into work and this particular morning I had a doctor's appointment before work. And I don't remember if it was my appointment or my son's appointment, but either way, I had to get him to school, get him situated, the appointment, get to work. And so I'm getting into work and it's like, uh, you know, mid-morning. So everyone else is in like full swing and I'm walking in the door, purse in one hand, lunch in the other hand. And I walk past my office because the kitchen was past my office. I walk past my office to go put my lunch away so that I could sit down and just start getting into the day. And as I turn that corner, three or four people from different directions. It really felt in that moment like 20 people, but several people from different directions start walking up and they're all asking a question or have a request or did I see the email? And I'm literally walking in the door. So I'm already a little off kilter because I'm coming in later than normal and I'm thinking about the things I need to do. But then now I'm just getting accosted by all of these people. And my friend happened to be walking down the hall and she sees this scene and she goes full mama bear and she yells out, "Give her a minute. She just got here." And that was what I needed in that moment, but I couldn't even articulate it because it was just so much going on around me. Um, so that story came to mind. But the reason why I picked Give Me a Minute for today. So yesterday was the day I normally would put the podcast out. And it usually, if I don't have it pre-recorded, I'll get up that morning and whatever God puts on my heart to talk about, that's what I'll do. And yesterday was a little bit different. So, this week I found out that a family member passed, and that's been weighing on me, just processing that. And I've experienced a lot of loss of close family members from a very young age up to now. So it just, it kind of just shook me a little bit and pulled me out of my rhythm. On top of that, I had a couple of things to do yesterday, a couple of clients to deal with yesterday, as well as preparing for my son's college site visit, coming up this weekend. So all of that's in my mind. We're hosting Thanksgiving, all of those things, right? And we all have those moments in life where there's just all of those things. And when we have those moments, we need to be able to yell out, and not necessarily literally, don't yell at people, but we need to, we need to have a minute. We need to have a minute. And sometimes that looks like rescheduling things. Sometimes that looks like, when you're in the moment of overwhelm. So this is one thing that a trick that I do often when I feel my anxiety rising, or I just feel like the world is moving a little bit too fast and I'm not feeling like I'm keeping up. In those moments, I take a minute. And it sounds crazy because it's like, "Oh my god, I don't have time." The time is the issue. Why would I stop? But sometimes taking that minute is the best thing that you can do, because when you stop, when you pause in that moment, one, a lot of the things that are weighing on you, or it's not necessarily what's happening, it's how you're processing it. So you may be in a situation where you just feel like everything is happening and everything is moving fast. Your brain starts to get jittered and it starts to get in this frenzy. And so then everything like feeds into it. Everything, it may be just regular stuff, but it just starts to feed into this, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Once you feel like you're sinking, that's all you can think about. The fact that you're sinking. And it takes taking that minute to remember that you know how to swim, or to remember, I don't know if you've seen some of these videos where people are like freaking out, because they're in the water and the water's coming up to their face. And then you realize that the water is not even deep. Like if they stand up, they're fine. Like it's not like they're in like, as deep as they think that they are, right? So don't be afraid to take that minute. That minute sometimes is what you need to really regroup, reset, rest, recharge, because that might be the thing that you need in that moment. To come back to something with a different mindset, with a different set of ideas. Or sometimes it's just you just need time to process. And it's hard to process when you're going, 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 going. So take the minute, whether it's literally a minute, or it's, you need to take the day off, give yourself the day off. If you need to, cancel something, um, then, do that. It's not something you don't want to be canceling things all of the time. But if that's what you need to do for your own well being, to show up better, because maybe you don't cancel and then you show up and you're not showing up, that best you. And whatever that opportunity, whatever that situation was, you're not getting the fullness of that situation because you don't have anything to give in that moment. So I want to encourage you to take that minute and stop feeling guilty for that minute. Like, don't feel guilty for taking care of you. Let that go. It is what it is. I had to give myself grace and say, okay, you've been consistent all year with getting this out. And there've been some times where it's been, down to the wire, but it's gonna be okay. And I'm kind of grateful for it because I think it gives an opportunity to, one, share something and be vulnerable, but two, to give that reminder. It's gonna be okay. It's still getting done. It may not be the way that I originally planned it, but it's still getting done. It's going to be okay. And, you know, I a thought I had this morning was about accountability and grace. So we hear about grace and give yourself grace and um not to be so hard on yourself. And it's something that we really need to look into. And we also hear about accountability, be accountable for your actions. And I feel like we hear about those two things separately, but we need to put them together. So there's accountability. My accountability told me that even though I didn't do it yesterday, I was still going to do it today because it's something that I'm committed to and that I want to do. So it's important to me. I'm committed to it. I want to do it. I'm still going to do it. So that was accountability. But then grace came in and said, but guess what? You don't have to squeeze it in today. You can do it, accountable, but give yourself grace to process what you need to process, to deal with what you need to deal with. And then you can come back and be accountable. So I think that's a whole nother episode right there. That might be my next week's episode, accountability and grace. All right, y'all. I'm going to go because I still have some stuff to catch up on. But I want you to, however that looks in your life, whenever it is necessary, to take that minute. All right, y'all have a good week. Thank you for listening to the Prophets in Pajamas podcast. I hope you got some great tips to start working with ease. Want to stay connected? Follow me at Your Workflow on Instagram. For more information about building your luxury brand, register for my upcoming luxury brand workshop at CoachDanniD.com.